Hello everyone and welcome to the Roblu tutorial for installing it into your Android Studio so you can make changes yourself. So without further ado, let's get started. First, you're going to want to go to the Roblu GitHub page. I'll leave a link for this in the description. Anyways, make sure you're on this screen. You want to click Clone or Download. You're going to click Download Zip on this little expanded window. It should download the file. While it's downloading, I just wanted to make a note that this is a Windows tutorial. So if you're using a Mac, make sure you're doing the Mac equivalent of everything. I'm not super proficient at how Macs work, so it's kind of up to you for making sure you get the Mac stuff down. Anyways, you should have a downloaded file. It should be zipped. You want to extract all to the same directory. So it'll extract momentarily, and we're done. So the next thing here is you've got an unzipped folder right here. So if you click that, you can see that you should have all your files right in there. So at this point, you can close Explorer, you can close your browser, and you can click Android Studio. So Android Studio should open. It may, if you were working on a project before this, it might open up a window that says, with all your editors, you want to go up to File and you want to click Close Project. Then you want to, I think this window should pop up, otherwise you might have to restart. You should get a window that looks like this. What we want to do is we want to click Open an existing Android Studio project, the second from the top option. It'll bring up a little file explorer. It's going to ask us to point to where the file is at. It's under Downloads. And sometimes this kind of glitches out, so you got to reopen it. So we got Downloads, Roblu. Make sure that when you're under, you should have 2 Roblu master folders if you didn't edit anything. You want to click the one with the Android Studio logo next to it that's right next to the README file. So after you click this, you're going to want to click OK. It should begin to generate some Gradle information. This shouldn't take too long. Well, it depends on your computer's performance. So we open up the file here. We now should have a directory where we can browse all our files, right? I just did this a couple minutes ago and it didn't find any of these. If that happens, simply just re-download it and try again. Anyways, the first thing that should happen is in your messages, it should say, could not get unknown property. This should happen. So this is expected. What you're going to do is you're going to right click in, just select any of these files here, right click, click new, click file. You want to name it Gradle, Gradle .properties. And that's Properties. Right? We're going to click OK. So this stores all your Gradle properties. Basically, what needs to happen is we need to sign the APK, right? Now, there's probably a better way to do this. For now, this is just what works, and after you get it working, it's not a big problem. So signing an APK is just saying that, hey, I signed this APK, and I'm accountable for it, basically. What it's used for is when you upload your project to Google Play, it requires you to have updates signed with the same key store. So it's important for updating your app, although you won't be posting my app according to the terms of use, so that shouldn't be happening. Anyways, back to the tutorial. In your gradle.properties, you're going to want to copy the following. I'll leave this in the description so you can copy it. You want to, at the top, you want to type this, distributionUrl equals this services.gradle URL right there. At that point, you want to click enter. You're going to want to type Android store password equals and Android key password equals. So your store password is the key store, like as a directory password. And within a key store directory password, you have an individual key store for an application. You can name them different. I would recommend, for simplicity's sake, just to name them the same. Our password is going to be apples. Now, the reason you have to create this file is because I'm not including my key store password on GitHub because that's not something people should have access to. Anyways, after you've typed this, you want to make sure that you tap File and Save All. Next, you're going to go to Tools, Android, and Sync Project with Gradle Files. It should take a few moments and it should sync the project. So we'll wait for that to happen. Awkward silence as we wait for it to load. Anyways, let's see. Well, I guess while we wait for this to build, I'd just like to say, thank you for using Roblu. I hope you like it. Again, if you have any suggestions, let me know, and I will add them to the official Google Play version. My goal is to have a very customizable and functional app for all teams. Okay, looks like the project is still going. Okay, or the build is still running. How fantastic. Yeah, so thanks for using Roblu. If you feel entitled to, you can leave a donation on my PayPal account on the main page. I'm trying to start a iOS campaign for getting this app on iOS. And that just marks the finish of our Gradle build. So your Gradle libraries are in sync. You can close gradle.properties. One thing I like to do is under project here, you have your Android tab. I like to just go to the project view instead. That's not super critical. Next, you're going to click build. You're going to scroll to the second from the bottom option called Generate Signed APK. It's going to ask you for a key store path. We're going to click Create New. So we're going to place this in the same directory that our project is in. If you're developing serious stuff, I have an actual app key stores in my C drive that I store all my key stores in. Anyways, we're going to click Downloads. We're going to store it in that file. We're going to name the file Roblu. It can really be anything you want. Let's just name it Roblu with a capital R. We want to type the password. This is going to be APPLES, or apples, all lowercase, no spaces. We're going to type apples there. Alias is the name of the application. We'll call it Roblu. Apples again, apples again. Years is how valid this, or how long this key store is valid. I just do like 200, because then I'll be dead and no one will care anyway. You want to write your first and last name. Next, you have your organizational unit. This is the division of your company, so I might say Will Davies Mobile Development, mobile dev division. It doesn't really matter. We want to type a city. Let's just say, I'm not going to put my actual city, but let's just do Houston, Texas. And our country code is US, assuming you're in the US. You want to click OK. Next, it should fill in this information for you. Otherwise, type it. If it's not, you want to click Next. It's going to ask you build type. You want to click Release. Click Finish. So it should say Gradle build running at the bottom. It should generate our APK, or our key store rather. It will generate an APK at the same time. While we're waiting for this to run, go into your project. You're going to right-click again, like we did for the gradle.properties, except this time you're going to hover over New. You're going to hover over Directory. You're going to name the directory. This is very important that you get it right. app-keystores. App-keystores with A capitalized. No spaces or anything. This creates a new directory here. This is where we're going to put a copy of the key store for the application to have on hand. So we'll wait for that to, okay, we're done. Generated signed APK successfully. So an APK is essentially the Android version of an executable. It's what an Android app is. It's how you run an Android app. So if we go to our downloads folder, we should see roblu.jks. This is your key store. Do not lose this. It's very important that you do not lose this. Although it might not be important for a non-uploaded project, this is for your future app development career. Don't lose your key store. You need it to update your app. Shouldn't matter too much for this because you can re-sign it every time. But it's kind of a pain. You don't really want to re-sign it, so make sure you leave it where you created it. You might want to back it up too. Anyway, you get the point. We're going to copy this file, Control-C, or right-click copy. You want to go to your project directory and click or tap Control-V. It's going to say, do you want to copy this? You want to click OK. Boom, your file's there. So you're all good to go. Next, what you want to do is you want to navigate to your build.gradle file. I'll click Show Line Numbers. You're going to want to go to line 55. It's going to ask you for the app key store location. You're going to highlight this text. You're going to type the name of your key store, which in this case was roblu.jks. You want to click Tools, you want to click Android, and Sync Project with Gradle Files, because you have to sync it whenever you make changes to the build.gradle. So we'll wait for that to happen. At this point, your application should be ready to go. So we'll wait for that to happen. Basically, all you have to do, I'm just going to explain the final parts. If you're debugging it, so you want to test it on your phone, you're going to click Run and run Roblu, right? Oops, we have to resync it, so we have to resync it before we can run it. So we will wait once again. Okay, Gradle finished. What we have to do now, click Run. So this is how you run your application while testing. So my Galaxy S6 is connected to my phone with a USB cable right now. Drivers are installed properly. We can actually click this right here and click OK, and it'll send that APK to your phone and run it right away. So that's useful for debugging. Now, when it comes time to, let's say you want your team to have this APK. Since it's not uploaded to Google Play, and again, the terms for modifying Roblu is you can't upload it to Google, right? Because I'm the only person who can have the Roblu, and it is copyrighted. Anyways, what I do allow you to do is distribute it to your team. So to do this, you're going to want to go back to build and generate signed APK. So if we went back to the previous APK signing, which might have disappeared, we can look for it. Anyway, let's just we'll generate a new one. So again, make sure it knows where your key store path is. We're going to name the key store password as apples, as we said. Finish again. So generate an APK. An APK is what you'll be distributing to your team. It says, hey, we generated an APK successfully. You want to click Show and Explore, Show and Explore. Down here, you should see a file. Again, it's, let's see here, roblu-release.apk. This is the file that you use to install applications. So in the case of me wanting to distribute it to a team, I might send them the APK. They would go to their Galaxy S6, go to their phone, go to Downloads, and paste it in there. Then on their phone, they would navigate it to it in Explorer, tap it, and it would launch the installation process. Anyways, that's it, guys. Let me know if you have any problems with it. I hope this was helpful to you, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.